Have you ever thought, man, could I build my own AI to trade the markets? For the longest time, that was something only huge hedge funds with massive budgets could even dream of. Well, not anymore. So let's dive into the blueprint for building your very own personal AI trading agent in 2025.
And I want to kick things off with this because it's so important. This isn't some far-off sci-fi dream. We are at this incredible moment where open source tools, cheap computing, and crazy smart language models have all come together, putting this kind of project right into your hands. Okay, so where do you even start? I get it. It can feel like a mountain to climb. But that's what this is all about. We're going to walk you through the entire journey, step by step, from that first spark of an idea all the way to deploying a pretty sophisticated agent in the real market. Look, any great project starts with a solid plan, a blueprint. Before you even think about writing a single line of code, you've got to make two huge decisions. First, what is your agent's mission? And second, what tools are you going to use to build it? So your first big choice is deciding on the agent strategy. What's its job? Are you building a simple execution bot that just gets you the best price? Or are you aiming higher, like a momentum agent that rides trends, or maybe even one that learns through trial and error with reinforcement learning? You know, for most folks building this on their own in 2025, the hottest and most powerful approach is the LLM-based agent. This thing can actually reason, do its own research, and then act on what it finds. Right, once you've got your mission, you need your toolkit, and this is basically your shopping list for 2025. Python is pretty much the undisputed king here, and there's this amazing ecosystem of open source tools for every single part of your project, from getting data with something like Alpaca to backtesting with Vector VBT, and even organizing your AIs with tools like Crew AI. All right, blueprint in hand, let's get our hands dirty and build a real working prototype. You are going to be absolutely shocked at how fast you can get your first agent up and running. Now, we're not talking about weeks of grinding away here. We're talking about a simple but surprisingly effective agent that can look at data and actually make trading decisions. You can have this thing running in... Yep, you're seeing that right. Less than 2 hours. That is not a typo. The barrier to entry has completely collapsed. You can literally go from an idea to a working bot in a single afternoon. That's what makes 2025 a complete game changer for this stuff. So how is that even possible? Well, here's the secret. The brain of your first bot isn't some super complex algorithm. It's a clear, well-written instruction, a prompt, that you give to a large language model. You're basically saying, hey, GPT-4o, you are a senior trader, look at this data, look at this news, and tell me what to do. And by the way, just give me the answer in a clean JSON format. It is that straightforward. And please, don't sleep on this simple setup. An agent like this, one that you can build in an afternoon, is already more disciplined and data-driven than a whole lot of human retail traders out there. Why? Because it takes emotion completely out of the equation and just sticks to the system. That's a huge advantage. Okay, so you've got your prototype running. Awesome. Now it's time to level up. This is where we go beyond that simple prompt and start looking at the more sophisticated setups that the pros are using to get a real edge in the market. The most popular setup right now, by far, is what's called an LLM multi-agent crew. The best way to think about it is like a specialized team at a financial firm, but they're all AI. You've got a researcher AI that's scraping news and data, then an analyst AI crunches the numbers, a risk agent makes sure you're not doing anything crazy, and finally, the trader AI actually places the order. This division of labor is absolutely key because it lets each AI focus on just one job, which makes them way more accurate and way less likely to make a mistake. Now, that crew model isn't the only way to go. You could also explore pure reinforcement learning. Think of it like training a puppy. The agent tries a trade, and if it makes money, you give it a treat. If it loses, no treat. Over time, it learns a profitable strategy all on its own. Or you can build a really smart hybrid model. You use an LLM to figure out the overall market mood. Are we in a bull market, a bear market, or something else? And then you switch on a different, specialized algorithm that's perfect for that specific condition. So building the AI's brain is really only half the battle. What truly separates the agents that make money from the ones that blow up their accounts comes down to two things that people often forget: the quality of your data and how seriously you take risk management. This is so crucial. Your edge is not going to come from staring at the same price chart everyone else is. It's going to come from feeding our agent unique alternative data. So what's working right now? analyzing real-time sentiment from X, which can tell you about fear or greed before the price even moves, or using Reddit heat maps to see which stocks everyone's talking about. For crypto, you can look at on-chain data to see where the smart money is actually flowing. This is the info that gives your agent a real advantage.
But listen, even if you have the best data and the smartest strategy in the world, there's this one giant pitfall. The number one reason automated trading bots fail isn't because the strategy was bad. It's because of terrible risk management. This right here, this is your agent's survival kit. These are non-negotiable. You have to code in a hard stop, a max drawdown limit that just shuts the whole thing down if things go south. You need strict rules for position sizing so that no single bad trade can blow you up. And you need a daily loss limit. This isn't just about protecting your money. It's about forcing the discipline that separates the pros from the amateurs. This is your rescue plan. Okay, we've covered strategy, tools, advanced models, and those critical safety checks. Now let's tie it all together. Here's your roadmap from a blank screen to a live trading agent. And you can see, this is a marathon, not a sprint. In your first couple of weeks, you'll get that simple bot built and running on a paper trading account. No real money. Over the next few months, you'll start adding layers of complexity. That LLM reasoning, the alternative data feeds, maybe even a reinforcement learning model. And only after, say, 4 months or more of rigorous testing and refining, do you even think about going live. And when you do, you start with tiny capital. As we wrap up, let's do a quick but critical reality check. There's this myth out there that you can just ask an LLM, hey, what's the price of Bitcoin going to be tomorrow? The reality is that almost never works. The models that are actually winning are these hybrid systems. They use LLMs for what they're great at, reading news, summarizing reports, getting a feel for the big picture. And then they hand off the actual trading execution to more traditional, precise quant models. So, a few final things to burn into your brain. First, over 90% of those simple predict the price bots are going to fail. It's just not a winning strategy. The winners are building those hybrid systems we just talked about. And finally, when you do go live, start with an amount of money that's so small you truly would not care if you lost it all. You have to prove the system works before you even think about scaling up. So there you have it. That's the complete blueprint. The tools are cheaper and more accessible than ever before, and the path from idea to a live bot is clear. The only question left is, what will you build?
Please like and subscribe for more trading content, and then subscribe for more daily, weekly trading insights.